Nah. I mean, it didn't make the cut.
We put on that wonderful performance.
It didn't make the cut. You didn't get your goal.
We live
ticket,
now?
man.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live now.
Yeah.
Oh, we really missed all the things. We just started.
Right. We just perform our own theme music and everything.
Look,
right?
you didn't get the golden ticket, bro. I don't know what else you want me to say.
That's wild.
You ain't get it. All right?
You didn't get it. That's crazy.
You didn't get it.
How you gonna give us attitude when it was you that messed
You didn't get
up?
it.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Don't put bass in your voice now. Should have had bass in your voice. You was doing your job.
I did my job.
Unbelievable. Send the links. Send the links. Oh, we live. In person, in the flesh.
Live and in color.
Shout out to Timmy D. Magic. Come on. You know how we do.
Damn.
Got the Durs. Got to whip out my beanie. It's beanie season. You gotta cover the dome. You can't just be shining.
I'm gonna need y'all
You gotta make sure
to know
they stay protected, moisturized.
a good show.
We gotta talk about.
Always.
Oh, please like and subscribe while you're here as well.
Oh, go ahead.
Ain't nobody here yet,
Tell your
but
friends,
you know,
your associates.
Anybody on YouTube? On the tube? On the tip?
honestly, it's a G, bro. Like, I'll appreciate it.
What?
You know? If we have a donor out there, we're the average $1,000. We pour
Each or just to split?
to split. Each is a lot.
This is groceries for the month.
Groceries.
More with that.
$250 and you gonna say groceries
for three?
Four people. 4 divided by 1,000 is 200.
Thinking about two different things. I was thinking about who the groceries.
See,
I was like,
Hey, hold on, man. Y'all gonna scare them.
hey, we just have this regular conversation. People eat. Y'all like food? You like groceries? Shout out Food Lion. Shout out the Giant. The safe way.
They don't know what
Food
food
Lion.
line. They don't know what
That's a
food
southern
line.
thing.
Yeah, they don't know what food line is. Up
I mean, I guess Maryland below the Mason-Dixon line. We like the
It
Mid-Atlantic.
depends on where y'all at.
All right, let's get this thing started. All right, welcome in. Thank you. Our Monday night countdown, per usual. I'm
Out. Deuce. What's good, y'all?
All right, as usual, we will be on until Monday night countdown, or Monday night football actually starts between Cowboys and Chargers.
Hey, why do you look like Mr. Rogers?
You know
I was just
what?
going I was going to ask who's on your sweater. What'd that say?
No.
Hey,
No.
no.
That's all I'm
Educate
saying.
the people. I don't know what you guys
Hey,
doing.
look. The crazy
You
thing
speak
is,
Japanese?
bro, I gotta leave, bro.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Rogers, hey.
Appreciate this swag right here.
It's crazy.
You gotta be up.
People have no idea who Mr. Rogers is. Like, you went way back.
I feel like you should have walked in and
Before
just
our
said,
time.
"Hello, my friends."
Crazy.
That would be smooth. That would be a great intro.
He had his legs crossed and everything. He just like, just very, very professional.
Like, you finna go sit
Very matter of fact.
Balls is up.
We only had one viewer and now we don't.
Like, you guys are y'all. Like,
I mean, the tizu.
You was gonna tell me that I know you got into some bad business today, but I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna tell you the good word about life.
Your sweater feels very
You
interesting.
was about to, you
Feels
about to lay it down.
open-minded. You have an open-minded sweater. It's beautiful. You're doing a great job.
Just wasting viewers.
I'm not. We here for
Viewers
your
ain't
sweater.
here for
Sweater
this.
weather. Sweater host, man. What we got going on?
What up with it?
All right, per usual. We will be doing our regular countdown that we continue to do on Mondays, and then you'll have our recordings for Thursday. So let's go ahead. We'll lock in, get into this. I'll take it easy.
Ooh,
Usher.
take it easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
You love trying to warm. Drop us in the fire. What are you talking about? It's week 6. Let it burn. We need that hot oil. Gotta let it burn. That's what we need, right?
Yeah, that's some up-tempo quick ones. Stuff that we don't need to take forever on. Yeah, something we don't need to take forever on.
Quick shots. Cool.
Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs didn't put up the performance that we thought they would. Some people thought it would be a high-scoring game. That didn't turn out to be the Yep. A bit more. Show a little heart on the defense.
Oh, that's lovely.
Their offense not going to put up enough points to make the playoffs, big dog. It's going to
That is,
yeah, it's fact.
That was probably the best they could have played.
that
They still put 8
is,
points.
that is a house fire right now. Okay, there's no,
Seems like
there's
there's
no
nothing-
fire,
seems
there's
like
no
they're
fire, there's no
extinguishing a
fire
little bit.
department. No, there's no fire department on the way. That house.
Not concerned with the Chiefs.
No.
When do we become concerned with the Chiefs?
That's a great question.
What more do you
Bro,
want to
we'll
see?
be concerned with the Chiefs when they get out in the playoffs early. Then we'll be.
It's too late by then.
If formidable opponent that we can truly say can make a, when they do that and they come out and they look flat against a team like that, then yeah.
How about they, bro? If they get stopped.
It's time to be concerned.
We've seen other teams play weaker opponents. They look clean. Play weaker opponents. Look clean.
Right.
For the most part.
As Super Bowl champs, I'm going to give them a
Like, nothing is the same issues. Get Kelsey the ball. Kelsey's still Kelsey. Still great. Still going to get you first down.
Playing better.
Defense has been playing great.
Defense is the leader.
But it's not as smooth. So it seems like they got to work a little harder to score, and it's not.
They play the Chargers, then they go back against the Broncos, and then it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, so
Followed by the Eagles, who also we'll get into them.
Yep. That's your stretch. We can be. They look flat. They look out of it, and they get the Dolphins or the Eagles. Then yes, it's time to be.
In the NFL at this point, there's no team that we can say there's no.
And look,
I'm not. If they're healthy, I'm
that's
not
the
about
concern.
No, that's not. But these don't look like.
If he has his all-pro people, yes, Brock Purdy's going to be fine.
These don't look like long-term injuries. For what we know.
we'll get to the Gordon. We will absolutely get to.
I don't know what we need to see for us to be cool with saying that, but they don't look the same.
I mean, I don't think they'll ever look the same because they don't have the same people that we used to seeing. Like
It looked easy last year, though. It just juju.
No, it didn't look easy last year, and we knew they didn't even have the explosive offense that they had in the years prior. And we said last year they didn't look the same.
But they still were ranked in the top 4. Now I don't think they're even ranked.
Yeah,
in the
now
top
their
8.
defense is top 10.
But I'm concerned about the offense.
And at the end of the offense, will put the defense. We haven't seen them do that yet. So I shouldn't say like, yeah, cool. Like
The Broncos' defense is buns. They put up 19 points.
yeah.
We watched the 70. We watched the Commanders put up 35.
My issue is I once like have it.
The Bears game. They look like themselves. Like,
Yeah, they scored 41. I mean,
they absolutely.
I don't know how
That game felt easy. It just felt
like one of
the
the Broncos. But as we say, against division rivals,
Right, and I thought when y'all the ones that were sitting here saying like, "Hey, these primetime division games always come out."
No, it's a Thursday night game.
No.
And that's
That part, yes, I expect the game to be how it was, but it's more like we're what now? This is week 6? Week 6, so we're 6 weeks in, and I mean, I guess I'll hold that one, but to me, they were calling a dumpster fire, so I was like, well,
so
okay,
they're
then.
supposed to do.
But I don't know.
That's what this week was.
That's the only thing. Like
It's a Thursday night game. So
No, I'm not just
said.
talking about this week. I'm talking about the other weeks. Like with the Dolphins, look hot and do what they do. The Bills had their hot moments. AFC. The Bengals still have not, which is why we have concerns. The Ravens still have not, which is why we were shocked. So like the teams that have not like look like those are the teams that we've all had. And I'm saying, shouldn't we have the Chiefs in that question mark too with the Bengals and Ravens?
Every team is in question marks, but because we could say, oh, the Bills, they have question marks because they lost plus the way that they looked. Then you can say the Dolphins, well, defensively they have question marks, and we still have those.
I don't think this is about everybody having question marks. Question marks are going to affect them going to get a Super Bowl. Are these question marks going to prevent them from being who we know them?
Yeah.
But again, we haven't had these question marks about the Chiefs. That's what we're saying.
And it seems like you don't want to have these question marks about
No,
like,
I think
until they actually get knocked out.
No, like I think it's question marks because I think every team has them this season because we've seen flaws in every team.
All right. Again, keeping it pushing. Quick. Let's go into Lions Bucks.
Lions Bucks.
The Lions are for real.
Put their defense on the map. Give them some respect.
The Lions definitely top tier.
The Lions are for real.
And look, in the NFC North, they about to do it.
They're about to do it, right? They're
flipping.
I think they have like what, a 2-game lead? Are they the only one in the league that has?
They're the only one with a winning record.
Are you talking about the North?
Yeah.
You're talking about specifically the North.
Yeah.
But they're the only ones with a winning record in the North.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the Vikings.
Vikings are 2-4.
Right.
Bears are 1-5.
Yeah,
And then the Packers are 2.
Winning them 1-score games, no more.
So
Jordan
yeah, put a winning record in them.
And the
They're about to
Bears.
run away with it. So
Yeah. They are. They're about to run away with it.
Question is, because you're saying that mean NFC Championship? Does that mean
no, they could. Yeah, it's
They
a
could.
possibility. Like I think at this point
They have
their
to be-
ceiling. I think their ceiling is the NFC Championship. Like they can make it.
Because teams haven't done great at scoring, and that's what they can do.
I can see
in
them.
losses.
I can see them getting a number 1 seed.
Still haven't unlocked Gibbs yet, neither.
1 seed, and they're doing on both sides of the ball. Henry was injured yesterday and got taken out, so they were down to Craig Reynolds, their third string running back. Amon-Ra has been not 100% all season.
Great
yesterday, and of course they lost Gardner Johnson. They lost Emmanuel Mosley last week as well. They're still pushing forward. They're still out here winning games in the same fashion. They're going to bludgeon you in physically on offense, and then they're going to smother you on defense with that defensive line. They're looking good, man. I can truly see them getting the number 1 seed this year.
Maybe showing up when the boys ready.
Yeah, I'm like the transformation that the franchise had under Dan Campbell is actually really crazy because from his first season, it was just like he's talking about biting kneecaps and blah blah blah. Like, is he really the coach for them? Then in year 2, they end up being 9-8, winning record. They didn't make the playoffs, but it looked good. Then it was like, can they take that success into this year?
You need something different.
They have.
It worked though. That meant that
Yeah, and to do it. Like,
they've been drafted.
They've drafted since Dan Campbell's been the coach. They've drafted so well,
and
they got key critical free agents.
Isn't working out.
So, Lions. They did well against the Bucks. The Bucks were a team that was dealing with their injuries, like Evans and such. But Baker Mayfield's for this season, he way outdone the expectations that I had. Like Bucks are getting there, and they'll be a good team still in the NFC, and they'll be contending for a playoff spot. But the Lions definitely showed that they're a tier above where the Bucks are at and where a lot of other teams in the NFC are. Essentially on the same tier as where the 49ers and Eagles are.
The Bucks can still go get y'all's division. They still.
I kind of want to wait before I actually start sipping some of this Lions Kool-Aid.
Who they got next week?
Ravens. I want to see what they look like against the Ravens.
Hey, if Amon-Ra cook up Marlon conversation. Maybe,
even if they were to lose the leaders of the AFC North, so it's not like the Ravens are bad. And we all say that it's the Ravens' fault that they're not undefeated right now. They literally lost those 2 games because they just lost it, not because the other team won it.
Advised decisions.
So if they lose to the Ravens, it's not going to change my mind on if they're one of the top teams in the NFC because
they're in the same tier as the Ravens. The
Ravens are one of the top teams in the AFC. So yeah, I don't think even
Me, just looking at it, I'm like, okay, so you beat out Kelsey or Jones, and then your other dubs are Falcons, Packers, Panthers, and the Bucks. I personally don't care for the Bucks. I don't put that as a shining notch. And your loss was against the Seahawks.
But I think one thing
that's why I'm like, I want to see.
I think
what you look at.
the one thing you should point out though is how convincing these wins are over those teams that you named as well.
26, 34-20.
Like they're not struggling in these games.
That's what I'm kind of. That's why I want to see them go against the league. This isn't going to be a team that you're going to be able to walk over. But that's what I want to see.
But the teams that you the teams that you view that are better than them, they've had wins where it's like, man, they need a whole game to pull one.
They haven't looked as good.
They haven't looked as good. So why are they being punished for that? They're taking care of business on these supposed to wins. And some of the top teams, some of these, we just look at the Eagles in a better light than they do, and look how many wins they squeeze one out in overtime in the fourth quarter.
Yes, but to me, when you're the new kid on the block, I'm not just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like that's not going to be. You gotta show me that you deserve my benefit of the doubt.
I mean,
the two games, the two playoff me in my eyes, who I had going to 1-1 Chiefs, and then you lost to the Seahawks. So I'm like, okay, here comes your next playoff team right here.
It feels like a punishment.
And I'm just like,
on your belt.
I don't think anything negative about them. I'm just saying one more week.
Well,
yeah, before I start taking a sip, I just want to make sure
I'm smelling it right now.
I'm smelling it. I just don't know if I want to take the sip.
What if
the Bucks will be a playoff team?
I don't have them.
What if they would have beat Seattle and would be the only remaining undefeated team right now?
Some steps. I would take some
to Seattle.
That's why I said it feels like a punishment.
They lost
because they lost to Seattle in overtime.
But that could have been the notch.
But
you're getting an overtime.
But what you're talking about is if they would one more play, then now he would be sipping the Kool-Aid. Just one more
inches. 6
like
inches.
You see what I mean when I say
prime time, even if it was no Kelsey and no Chris Jones, they did what they needed to do, what we felt like opportunity to do, and they did it.
You have to measure these things on one play. Football, it comes down to these big moments. 1 or 2 moments where it's like, oh, okay, this person make this play.
I mean, it's going to come down to those moments in the playoffs.
Yes,
look, at the end of the day,
just I had an example from that.
At the end of the day, they're at least top 3 in the NFC. I think we can all agree on that. At the end of the day, they're top.
Like it's fair to say, if they make one play, we can't hold this. That's the difference between wins. If you lose them games because of one play, you're losing them games. That's what's going to keep you in that tier where you're not getting it done.
I am fine with saying they are number 3. That is, I feel like you can't argue that as of week 6. I'm trying to figure out if this is something they would be able to maintain throughout the rest of the season to stay in this position. That's what I'm trying.
I mean, the way it's looking, there's not many teams I think is going to pass them on that because the NFC ain't looking too hot.
It's true.
So.
It's true. Sound argument. And like I said, speaking of the team that I'm looking forward for them to play, Ravens, they just got this. I think the offense gelled a little bit better this week, personally.
Yeah, ball was spread
different. Maybe putting people in spin cycles. This is something like, damn, we need to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. The yak, big yak guy.
I thought OBJ looked good early. I think the one thing with Lamar is he spread the ball around to a bunch of guys. There's 6 or 7 different guys that caught a pass. So not just locking on to one guy. He's like, okay, if I have multiple weapons, let's use them all. The run game was okay, but at the end of the day, they got the win in London.
Watching Ryan Tannehill play, it just doesn't sit right in my
That's your
spirit.
guy. I
believed in him in like 2020. This was pre-pandemic Ryan Tannehill was my guy. I was locked into the number 1 seed. He's been buns ever since.
I wonder how much Ray Hopkins is loving life right now.
His bank account looks nice.
His bank account looks nice.
Yeah.
But he left one situation and he landed in Tennessee, and we all felt from the moment he landed in Tennessee that it wasn't going to look good because that's the place where wide receivers go to perish. We can talk about Julio Jones, we can talk about Randy Moss, but
I don't remember Randy Moss at the time.
now he's drinking that Kool-Aid right now. He's realizing that life right now. And I feel bad for him, honestly. I really do. Because he wanted to go to a contender.
He could.
He decided not to.
But remember, I told you that he reached out to teams, and teams didn't reach back out to him.
Because the money.
No, yeah. Exactly. You got
the Chiefs and
which one was more important?
And the Bills were 2 teams that were reported.
Could have easily got to that.
Did not call them back. Did not,
because they knew, but they couldn't afford it.
Yeah. So maybe if there was one of those situations, it was like, hey, his agent was probably telling him, hey man, you need to lower your figure, man, because this is why teams are not reaching out.
Nothing wrong with going
not this is why teams, this is why contenders.
Yeah, this is why contenders are not reaching back out.
Contenders, and they was just like, look, we already strapped already. We trying to still get our guys. Good. Yeah. We can't get you
training that.
Yeah. Essentially.
On their run, it was very Marcus Williams kind of stay out of stiff arm range, trying to pick and choose that moment.
He thought about his life after.
That man ran parallel with him 20 yards.
Most guys make a business decision, for seen anyone make one in stride with the running back. Like, you know what? I'm gonna slow down, because that's exactly what he did. It was funny.
He probably said,
Derrick Henry.
He's probably said, like, hey, bro, look, I'm about to tackle you. Here we go.
Derrick had a whole conversation in his head.
Derrick was like, if you try to tackle me, I'm sending you to hell.
You understand?
And that's why he was like, that's why he's like, wait a minute. Like, he just kind of sort of.
You have to be a little crazy in general to play football, because you got to go out and willingly want to tackle someone who's 6'4", 245, 250. Why would you put yourself in that situation? That doesn't sound fun at all. You got to be crazy and you got to love it. Because there's no way. Why?
Twisted.
What am I going to do with that?
I know how this like on game.
I am 5'9" shoes on.
You got to be thinking different. You got to be thinking.
It's a 190.
It is.
Definitely.
It is. You think weirdly on defense as a defense.
So I still need to see more from the Ravens.
That's what I was about to say.
I still need to see a little more. I feel the same. They've underwhelmed. I don't know what it's going to take for their to get going. Like, it just feels like you get your people in space, like get Zay the ball. Zay most of them slant screens a little closer. I was hoping that they would push the ball down the field a little more, work the intermediates. I feel like they still need to unlock that and get that going for me to feel confident in their offense.
Yeah, I think that, like, we said and we hoped would be more expansive, but I think that at the end of the day, like, the Ravens are going to be what the Ravens do best. Throw it around a little bit, but it's never going to be like a Joe Burrow thing where it's throwing it 40, 50 times a game if you need to, or anything like that. They're just not.
It's never really been the Ravens.
Yeah, it's just not who they are. We're going to stray from that no matter who they get at offense. As long as they never really get those type of calls either. So, yeah, like, I think they're just going to win how they win. Might not look great for the Ravens. A win's a win, and they'll keep pushing. And that's how they've been for a while. Hey, like, still is good.
Patrick Queen
Smith too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep it chopping. And so many teams, so many teams. Let's go.
Yeah, we don't
Rutgers. That was their theme, wasn't it?
Rutgers, like
the university. It was back in the day. Before
Jersey boy, you know
what I'm talking about. because I forgot who the heck was.
He's
back at Rutgers.
He's back at
Yeah. Shoot. But back then, that was the thing, right? Wasn't that the motto?
Yeah.
Because this is back Ray Rice.
Yeah, and my brother was at school at Rutgers at that time.
All right.
So I got to go watch Ray Rice and them going, yep.
The all Florida State chocolate. That's never mind. Don't you worry about it. Go ahead. Different chocolate.
No comment.
All right, let's dive in a little bit to the deep end and let's talk. You said you want to talk about it. Let's talk Eagles.
Right.
Let's talk about it. No one did. We've been saying that the Eagles don't look right the same way we've been saying the Chiefs don't look right. And then this was our dogs.
This was indeed our dog. Come on, baby. We know how to pick them. We know how to pick them on here.
Our dog, our underdog. I said the Jets would give this type of offense trouble. This is like
yes, is elite. Elite. It's a unit. There's very units in the NFL that I think stand out to the point where I think that unit can win games. Like the Detroit Lions offense is enough to win. The Bengals wide receiver core is good at games for them. Defense is good enough to put them in playoff contention. All Zach Wilson has to do is just take care of the football.
To be honest, we said that in the beginning.
But now they put time after time after time. Look how many positions they've been put in this season where it's like they got to lean on that defense.
Damn near every season.
And that defense has come through every single time, especially yesterday. Like we thought the Eagles' offense really look out of sync yesterday. Like that was just.
Honestly, the one thing with the Eagles, and this is the thing that has not happened to them before this whole season, on why they were the number one teams, because they could do this. They could not run the football against the Jets to save their life.
Nope.
If it wasn't Jalen Hurts running, they were not getting it. It's like if Jalen Hurts had to pass 40 times, the Jets were able to make him turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Because he got the yards, but the turnovers are the things that killed at the end of the day. And not all those interceptions were on him. He had the one where the first one where Goddard hit off of Goddard and went fumble with Swift. And the interceptions where he tried to force it and ended up getting intercepted. So they had 4 turnovers. This is the one thing that the Jets defense can do. If the Jets defense makes you turn the ball over, they usually like.
Weren't we saying earlier in the season that we wanted to see this new run game for Philly and see how they can win games that way?
That's what I was just thinking about. Was it the Philly or was it another team? I remember having that conversation
where DeAndre rushed for 175.
That was the Minnesota game.
Yeah,
they was trying to,
but it finally came.
Because the thing with Minnesota is Minnesota dared them to run, put 8 in coverage.
Right.
They said Hurts isn't going to beat us.
Yeah,
it needs to be the running backs.
Yeah, this might be the first time I've seen the team say we're gonna let Hurts beat us. We're gonna let Hurts win the game.
Lane Johnson also got hurt early.
Yeah, he did
in that game. I just think, but it again when they were rushing plays, it was when he was there in the first quarter.
That the Eagles had a few drops.
It comes down to moments. That was what I was
saying.
Devontae had a drop. AJ stopped running on a deep ball that would have been a touchdown in the first half. That could have changed the trajectory of that game. It would have been 21-3 at that point. And who knows if the Jets offense would have had enough to try and keep up. They would have tried to change and force the issue a little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes down to them moments, we talk about the Lions making plays when they need. That's why you gotta make them moments, because it really that changed it in one catch.
Sure.
So I know people have them going to the Super Bowl, but I just can't see the Eagles getting to the Super Bowl.
Were you a part of those people?
No.
No, I'm not.
I didn't believe that you could, because I was like with two new OCs, and a new OC, it's already hard enough as it is to get to the Super Bowl. You add that on top of it, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not. And the 49ers can very well do that the Jets did, I believe. I believe they can play them the exact same way. The 49ers, I don't see that happening. If the Cowboys are playing their A game, they could possibly do the same type of thing to the offense. I think that the Eagles are vulnerable. There's a lot that I think one of the things they need to work on, or hurts, is spreading the ball around a little bit more.
Too much AJ?
So who?
I mean, you have a hell of a number 2.
Yeah, you didn't hear the drop?
He had some drops yesterday.
No, he did. But if up now, but if we pulled up, do you think there's a huge disparity between AJ and the rest?
It's funny because 2 of his interceptions came targeting Goddard yesterday, which is interesting. And the one, I think the third one, I think it was targeting Devontae.
So Devontae had 11 targets. AJ Brown had 9.
AJ had 9?
Mm-hmm.
Devontae and DeAndre.
Crazy.
And DeAndre.
It seemed like he had more because he
caught it.
He caught it.
That's probably why. Yeah. He's 7 for 131.
But targets-wise,
it was
between AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, and Swift, they were all within 3 targets.
Of each other?
Yeah. So it was just catching it the most.
I feel that though. I see why.
AJ catch again. It's AJ catch again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's AJ.
I don't know how much of it was. I don't know what Jalen Hurts had when he was trying to make things happen, but it just felt like he was just sitting there waiting, just moving, eyes down.
Well, it got to a point where it's just like he didn't even stay in the pocket long enough to look at anything. He just would run, and it's because that pressure was just getting to him so much. But it got to him so much in the beginning that at the end, it's just not going to hold up, and didn't trust it. And that's just it can happen to any quarterback,
Everybody
I'm not gonna say that he can't throw or he can't be a pocket passer, because we've seen him do it. We've seen him throw the ball for 300 yards before. We've seen him be excellent, and he showed it. I mean, he had a good passing day. It's just those interceptions were the things that made it worse and got the Jets in the game.
So flip side, should the Jets really make a trade here
to get a quarterback?
To get who?
Yeah, get a quarterback.
I mean, it depends on what they're trying to do. If they're trying to win a Super Bowl,
we asked this question before, and we said that long term it won't be worth it. Especially if
there are no quarterbacks on the market that you could say if we got them, like we're gonna win a Super Bowl.
Not a Super Bowl, but I mean, you can win a Super Bowl, no. But
I'm thinking
you're trying to get your team into the playoffs.
But you're also thinking about trading. Hypothetically, you trade for Kirk Cousins, knowing that Aaron Rodgers is going to be back.
Kirk was on the expiring
contract. What's the point in that to the thing? Like, why? Why
Kirk situation? I think it's just
what level of quarterback do you think? What level of quarterback play do you think you need in order to get to a Super Bowl with the Jets defense?
Aaron Rodgers.
So you need a top 5 quarterback?
No.
That's what I just heard in my head when he said Aaron Rodgers.
No, but Aaron Rodgers in this last season with the Packers didn't play like a top 5 quarterback. But now it's like if he goes to the Jets, he doesn't need to be that MVP caliber quarterback anymore.
No, but
he just has to.
I just need Zach Wilson to.
No.
Well,
if he plays up, no. No, you guys what he is, but you're not thinking about what his potential was when he came into the league.
That's not.
No, what I'm saying, he's not gonna get.
He's not. It was an overestimation of what his potential could be. I think that's the thing.
Oh.
I mean, I say his potential could be top 15 quarterback.
Okay.
He can't be a top 15
Okay.
But
so this is I'm gonna use this as a transition as well into the next game. But
Are we listing quarterbacks?
if the Jets had Tyrod Taylor.
no.
I think that Tyrod Taylor could absolutely be a 15. You said 15. He could be 15. He could be a top 15 quarterback.
If he was a top 15 quarterback, he wouldn't be a backup. Right?
Absolutely not.
No,
he would be starting.
No, that's not true.
Can you name me 30? Who are the top 32 quarterbacks in the league right now? They're all starters.
Here we go. No, I don't. As we all know, it all depends on where you land. And his end of stardom was his punctured lung, not his play. He got a punctured lung,
which was 4 years
and that
ago.
was the end. We didn't see, and then he went to.
That was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it's when Josh started.
No. It was how many years has Herbert played?
He's in year 4.
This is 4 years ago.
So
4 years ago.
He's been hopping around from team to team. He never got a chance to start again.
And I expect him to, from a guy that hasn't played to the top of his or to his maximum potential in 4 years. I expect him to just walk on the field and be a top 15 quarterback.
To be a top 15 quarterback.
Yeah.
If he hasn't played at the top,
top 15 is like, this is garbage.
Yeah, you can I haven't seen him at the top of his game in 4 years. I can expect him to be a top 15 quarterback like that.
Yeah, I
absolutely not. Because if he would have beat y'all last night.
No, yeah, he definitely would.
He would have beat y'all last night. Yes,
he definitely would have.
The way that game,
not including Rodgers, we got Mahomes, we got Tua, we got Allen, got Burrow, Herbert, Cousins, Purdy, Goff, Stafford, Geno, hell, and then in that category you got what? Dak, Deshaun.
He better than Geno?
Zach Wilson?
No. I'm talking about Tyrod.
Oh,
he better than Geno?
Tyrod. No.
Why are we having this conversation?
Because it doesn't have to be.
He's not better than Russ.
So he's not holding on top 15. That's all what you need for them to go to playoffs.
Because I saw do we think that this defense is as good as Broncos?
With Kirk Cousins, I don't see him winning a Super Bowl.
Yes, as that defense.
As who?
The Broncos carried.
It can be as good. It can be as good.
Broncos that carry Peyton.
It can be as good.
That this defense.
It can be.
I think they can be.
The Broncos.
You'll have to keep in mind what they did yesterday without their top two corners. They were DJ Reed on the field.
Okay,
and look what they did.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm saying if that's the case, then that changes how good I need my quarterback to be. To get there. That's what I'm saying.
Tyrod is someone who don't turn the ball over. He's gonna get you. He'll Alex Smith.
But he ain't top 15 though.
Your low budget Alex Smith.
Because you just said he ain't better than Tyrod, so he ain't.
How many people did you just name?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Not including Rodgers, so 15. I named 15. I was just kind of throwing people.
Is he better than Carr? Tyrod better than Carr?
I'll take him over Carr right now. No. From what I've seen from Carr this year, I would take Tyrod. I would take Tyrod.
Oh, you gotta think about it. That's crazy.
Yeah. What we've seen.
We've seen.
Even better. He had a bad game and everything else is still kind of slow.
Tyrod better than Purdy? So why are we having this conversation? Ain't no need. We don't need to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's
I do think
I really think that if they have somebody like that,
Sam Howell. The Jets had Sam Howell.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Tyrod takes care of the ball better. No.
Sam can make plays though.
I mean, Sam has only had one game. Sam has only had one game where he just.
I would say Tyrod with less weapons. Tyrod with less weapons played more and did more against this Bills defense than you did. with more weapons and Sam Howell.
But that's just one game.
Well, that's what we're judging Tyrod off of, right? Because you guys just said if Tyrod was an average quarterback, he would be.
He's the same player that he was.
He's an older guy.
His fourth career start.
Like if you were to say prime Tyrod in the 20s,
You talking about it?
what he's doing, maybe.
I didn't even throw for any touchdown passes last night. And finished
Well,
3 times.
the Bills have only given up 2 all season.
I'm just saying.
You expect
me, but you're sitting here and using what he did last night against the Bills with less
because
weapons.
I'm like,
he didn't do anything.
But if you're telling me Tyrod with Garrett and Brees, 24, I feel like they could make that.
I want you to know that Josh Allen and Sam Howell
24-36 for 200 yards.
Josh's all came in his first all of Josh's mainly came in his first game.
just like Sam Howell's all came against you.
Oh, God dang. That's funny.
Hey, look, he said Sam Howell don't take care of the ball. I'm like, no, I don't think that's.
So he only has 4?
No, he has 6. Josh Allen has
4 of them
6.
was in y'all's game.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like 4 turnovers
Sorry.
in.
My bad.
It's okay. I forgive you. I knew what I was talking about. I wasn't pulling it out my ass.
All right, well, moving along. Let's go ahead and talk about Bills Giants.
All right.
Bills Giants. Yeah, that was a rough one to watch.
Yeah, what you guys say about your team, big dog?
Yeah. What questions? What questions you got about the team?
You just want
I
credit
have the same question.
Dayball for knowing your offense? Is that all it was?
No, I mean, I feel like that's definitely a factor, but to me, I have the same question that I had last year and the year before, which is, okay, who is it going to be?
This is
Who is it going to be besides Diggs?
This is part of the reason why I've had question marks about your team coming into the season. Talented as hell on both sides of the ball. Depending on opponent and circumstance, if you're going to get an elite Bills team. But every now and then, it's like
opponent and circumstance. You funny.
like or I mean, playing
in circumstance.
like it. But I feel like every now and then they have these games like, what in the hell? Like, why? Why are you guys playing like this? And last night was that game. Like, you guys, I know they won. I get it. I know style points is in the NFL like it is in college football. But, man, that was a game last night where if there was ever a disappointing win, that was one of them. Like,
I mean, this is not my first disappointing win with the Bills.
You like because of the concern. Do you think that there are concerns that would stop you from essentially ever winning a Super Bowl? Let me just off of this is like these type of concerns. I feel like the more games you have to play in the playoffs, the more of a chance they could come up before you get to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So do y'all need that number 1 seed so that doesn't show up in the playoffs until the Super Bowl? Or is it one of those things where it's just that, like, as long as we just get in the dance, we can just overcome
you feel
it
confident regardless
and be okay? Because it seems like once it's just Diggs, that's it. It's either Diggs or nothing.
I feel like the only team that I'm worried about is the Bengals because they are the team that I feel like
the wide receivers.
I feel like that is the only team that can having to go toe to toe with because I feel like the Bengals. Because I don't feel like our defense can stop the Bengals' weapons. Okay, so now we have to put up points.
You feel that way even with a completely healthy defensive line with Vaughn with Vaughn back 100%, Russo on the field, Vanessa. You still feel that way?
Yes, because I was telling Eric. I said, I know that the whole philosophy that the NFL and coaches always say that trenches. I'm starting to feel the reverse. I'm starting to feel like it doesn't start in the trenches. I'm starting to feel like it starts in the secondary because I don't care how good your defensive line is. If your quarterback can get the ball out in 2 seconds, that means absolutely nothing. You're not giving them a chance. So I'm like, if I don't have it on the back end to hold up for 3 seconds so that they can get the sack, then it means nothing. And I'm like, against the Bengals, against a healthy Higgins and a healthy Chase and a healthy Boyd, I saw them carve up my defense once, and now my defense again is without Tre'Davious and it's out without Milano. It makes me feel like they won't carve me up again if I see them in the playoffs.
But at the same time, the quickest way to get to the quarterback is right up the middle. That front four. When we look at why Aaron Donald is so scary in terms of how he be maneuvering, because he affects the timing that you're talking about of the quarterback getting the ball out.
That's you're not wrong with that. To hold it for 2 seconds. That they have to hold it for longer than 2 seconds.
But if you have dudes, if you have a line one to give you time, that's where the biggest impact will be. Giving yourself time to be able to make the plays that you want to make.
Well, it's crazy because in the games that I think a key factor is they've been able to either get to Josh or at least pressure Josh to where things aren't really going the way that they should. And then even against the Giants, I feel like it just wasn't as not precise, but the timing just wasn't there with your guys. Well, Diggs, I mean, it was a given. But this is on everybody else. It just wasn't, the connection wasn't there.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not worried about the Dolphins, because last year's DC gives more trouble than this bend don't break. Like if you're going to try and do bend don't break against Josh, but if you're one of those teams like the Giants were last night, who's just going to send the house, then he has to go to his. Somebody needs to be reliable, and there's only one person who bails him out. And that's saying somebody else has to be able to bail Josh out besides Diggs. Because when they play teams that are going to send the house, it's either, and they send the house at him, that's going to be a thing. But if you play bend but don't break, carve you up. He's carved up everybody who's done it.
I think the teams that I'd be concerned about if I was y'all would be obviously, you said the Bengals, but I think the Ravens would also be.
We play Lamar. Not worried, but I haven't yet.
But what I'm saying, is that if they're going to keep the score close, because I think they're from scoring, so they're going to stop your offense from scoring, which is what teams have had to do in order to beat you. Then it's like, well, they don't have to score as much, so then it just makes less pressure on them.
Do they blitz?
That's
how
the
blitz heavy. I haven't studied too much. Are they a blitz heavy team?
Yeah, the Ravens like
stop
blitz heavy. They're not blitz heavy, but they definitely,
If you're not blitzing him, you're not gonna.
No, but I'm saying they work it in. It's not like we're just gonna sit in the house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have nothing to lose. But they do give different types of blitz packages to confuse people, and that's what I think that the Ravens would.
All right, last word, sir.
Oh, I was gonna say the Ravens secondary and their linebackers. The Bills getting little check downs. I feel like that's what you got Dalton Kincaid for, and he wasn't playing this game. I feel like you have him back in the offense. You have a James Cook. Just give him the ball. I feel like if you create situations to get quick outs, check downs, it could alleviate that. It's not the first time that people sent the house to you. That's why you pick up what.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Though that is my question mark. Besides Diggs, when you have those heat moments, but another team that suffered a lot of that heat, that knows all about it, them 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Browns put the heat on them, put the clamps on Purdy.
Sure did.
It was pretty bad. So
wow. He was ready for that. Stomp on the kid.
It reflects on your sweater too. That sweater feels like a bar delivered in that outfit right there. It felt right.
He had a pretty difficult time against the Browns. Let's talk about it. Who wanna?
Look. He had a bad game, and I can understand that. But at the end of the day,
he also went against the number one defense in the league.
Yeah, I think so. But that's okay though. Every quarterback has a bad game
for sure.
Like I'm not gonna say that. He was supposed to be perfect throughout the season. That's just not how things go. But I do think that I give him credit.
It made a lot of quarterbacks
he got the 49ers down the field.
No.
For a field goal.
You can say
that, but but
Brock
throw him the ball.
He did his job. He had a nice little short zig route. Like, space was created. He hit his guy.
At the end of the day, he got down the field.
Sure, but like, what's the bar? We was just saying that he was in the MVP conversation yesterday. Now we're saying, we can complete a pass.
Look, after that play, did he not make 2 more throws to get him even closer to the field goal?
Hold on. You still got to make the throws because you know what? I saw Jalen get picked off on a short curl, you Goddard, and you still got to make the throws, regardless how long or how short the pass is. You still got to make the throws. That was a routine throw for him, and he couldn't make it. So I mean,
he took them down the field. That's what happened. He took.
Okay, that's 25 yards. What about the other yards?
That's what I'm saying. The other one was a slant and an out route
on the 3rd down.
Okay, so that's 25 yards. Plus another 15.
You gotta have it for sure. But how much credit does he deserve?
Yards, right?
So how much credit?
40 yards.
So how much credit you gonna give Sam Howell for making some throws this year?
How much? Not that much. It depends on the throw. It depends on the throw. I
agree.
It depends on the throw.
3-yard, a 3 interception. I get it. If he's getting intercepted, I'd have to look at like how the defense was doing it. But if you got a wide open dude 3 yards and you hit him, I'm like, that's the stand. Like, you're supposed to do that.
Throw. That's the other ones were bad. Talk about on that drive.
Not the ones that he missed on that drive. He's talking about the ones.
Yes, the quarterbacks missed passes. Yes,
he was 5 for 30 interception in the second half.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me tell you this way. He had a Zach Wilson-esque game.
He really did.
Yes.
It didn't need to come down to Moody with a Y kicking a field goal.
Quarterback kicked the game-winning field goal for any team. A lot. It happens again.
With the Bills game, I sat there and I was like, this game should not have come down to the ball at the goal line. And that game should have never came down to that. And what he's saying is, it came down to Moody having to do that to begin with.
Especially when
he had so many off eyes that were open. Like, he was the reason that they were in the situation to begin with.
That's fine. I'm gonna say that he's the reason why they're in that situation.
You know how many quarterbacks can make a throw like this? Like, look how in tight coverage, having the confidence to.
He didn't do that yesterday.
He didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
But that's on the play caller as well, guys. Like,
we've said there were open receivers. It had nothing to do with play calling. Birdie hit your guy.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with y'all saying played bad. But that second drive, that last drive, you have to give him credit for getting them into the field goal range. Because if he would have kicked
2 separate conversations, I want to make sure that it's on a conversation.
No, look, at the end of the day, you can say that he put them in that position. Cool. I'm not opposed to that. Yes, he did. He played terrible. But to say that, in the last drive, that let's just say.
So what are you saying all this to say? Let me ask you that. Okay, so he played terrible.
But when he
led them down. So what does that say?
He gave them a chance.
So what does that say?
He did give them a chance.
I
give the credit more to Ayuk than I do to Purdy.
Because to me, what I'm saying.
That's all.
If that's the case, then any balls on game-winning drive, you have to give him more credit than the quarterback.
It depends on the difficulty of the pass.
If he's catching all the passes,
where Greg Newsome is draped on homeboy and he put it in a spot where his receiver can get it. Again, there are different ways to win, lose. There are different ways that plays are being made. Brock Purdy didn't have to do nothing. He's had to do his job. I give him.
He did his job.
I give him credit for completing.
That's what the quarterback is supposed to do.
But how much credit is that?
But what I'm trying to say is, because you said he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
We're holding him to a higher standard.
Okay, so if he's a top 10 quarterback, I'm holding him to top 10 quarterback standard.
Which means,
and what I'm saying is he didn't meet that standard yesterday. He did not meet that standard. For people who are in the top 10 and they have a game like that, the media would go and be like, bro, what is going on?
They did.
that's the case.
We did talk about it.
Jalen Hurts didn't meet those standards yesterday.
We did talk about it.
Exactly.
Josh Allen didn't meet those standards yesterday.
What
are you talking about?
We're saying I didn't know if you were trying to say that because of that drive, this game is okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead. What you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is at the end of the day, we have to at least give him credit for getting the team in position to win the game, even though he played terrible.
I put that more on Ayuk.
So
He hit open receivers.
I
feel like if they look more
that.
difficult, I give him more credit.
But what I will say, because you were talking about Hurts and Allen having bad games for not meeting the standard of a league. But the only difference is, to me, I've seen them have to put on the cape and go out there and do it for their team. I got a whole team on my back. If I don't do it,
shame on
else gonna be
shame on Purdy. Shame on such a good. He doesn't find himself in situations
found
where
himself
he's got
in
to win game.
This game,
We didn't see it.
But he did. But the one moment he did it without Debo on the field. He did it without McCaffrey on the field.
what did he do?
That's
He still got me.
Hold on, bro.
Bro, look at the number.
If you literally just watch the plays,
I'm not
getting boom, scoring out
So y'all just gonna ignore washed away because of that
passes.
No. Okay, so what I'm saying is he did not sit here and put on the K thing in this game.
And that's what makes you sound like we're saying he put them in position.
So
I don't want to.
I said he gave them a chance.
So let's say
that makes it seem like he put them on his back. He did all that.
So let's say
you say when it's come time, I need you to make the throws. Because you said he was missing throws all game. So if he missing throws to get them down the field, that's what you want. It doesn't have to be the hardest throws, but if you can.
I'm not believing Purdy put them in this position.
So here's the thing.
I said he gave them a chance.
Hold on. So should you guys be questioning? Should you be questioning the play calling for Shanahan to make him, throw the ball more?
No, he was missing.
Is that what it is?
No. Purdy was missing.
No,
you asked the question. I'm saying that it was not
like y'all saying it's like, oh, they put on the cape, so he had to make some spectacular plays.
Right.
I'm like, no, he doesn't.
I expect you to make those throws, and I can't. Why am I thinking of
not
you
every
as the
offense? Not every offense.
He's not elite. He's just good. Is that? Nobody said he was elite. Cause we know.
No one said he was
not elite, but top 10. You want to put him in your top 10?
He's in my top 10. My top 10. So he's in my top 10.
He was.
You have quarterbacks, right?
So we got Mahomes, Hurts, Herbert.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Goff,
he damn sure had Purdy listed at like 8. I'm glad he said that.
Going back and forth. So we got Patrick Mahomes.
Burrow.
We got Burrow, got Lamar, got. I would put Matt Stafford. I would put Jalen Hurts in my top 10.
Okay.
I would still put Justin Herbert right in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets
Tua.
Yep. Did I say Tua? I think I said Tua. How many is that?
That's 8 for me.
That's 8. So then we can get into that next. Your Geno sometimes. Kirk Cousins was in this tier last year. He kind of fell off a little bit. Purdy around this tier, probably. Deshaun Watson. This is without Aaron Rodgers.
It's crazy how we want to put Cousins in that situation, and Cousins has been throwing passes to the best receiver in the league. So how much credit are we?
That's fair. And again, that's why with the season that the Vikings were having, I don't know if I'll throw him in right. Probably not.
No, at this point, I would give Cousins the benefit of the doubt of being number 10.
I also want to say, because we had this argument before, unless you want to change your change your stance.
Mm-hmm.
But he has Herbert worse than Purdy.
He does.
Yeah.
And that
Why I was like, come on.
I said for this year.
Are you talking about in terms of the season, or are you talking about in terms of the player?
That's what it is, though. What you do in the season is how good you are. I'm gonna put that in there.
Because we just seen what happened when Brock Purdy didn't have C-Mac and Debo. And he looked a little more beatable.
Well, that's one half against the number one defense. I need more of a guy.
I'm not saying that he's not the guy, but in terms of.
But why are you so sure he is? That's where I'm at. I'm like,
he had proven it when he
you're
needed
like,
to.
nah, firm in here. And I'm like, why is he not a question mark?
Because you see a lot of quarterbacks that play that well.
for what they need.
Even for what they have skill position wise, he has played like exceptional.
Yeah.
Like it's just take off as a for what he is. He's not gonna wow you with the arm talent, but what he does is with ball placement, where throws need to be made, whether it's deep throws, short throws. He's made.
I feel like we still have quarterbacks in the NFL that are truly talented system, and the quarterbacks that are literally good enough to play for particular systems. We have a trouble distinguishing that because we hold standards that are held by Allen and Mahomes over the same quarterbacks that are not on that particular talent level.
But we know.
So hold on. So for what the 49ers need, okay, they don't need a Mahomes or Allen to operate their system. It'll be great. It'll be beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but they don't need that. And we just saw a veteran quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo who ran this Purdy, and it never looked this good.
It did.
They went to the Super Bowl off of the run game.
No.
There was a game on prime time.
He's
You remember the game where the 49ers played the Saints, and Jimmy G threw for like something crazy, like 3-something, 4 touchdowns.
Oh, I got just hit Kettle on that.
Yes, yes.
Took it 30 yards.
Yes, I don't give Jimmy G credit for that.
Yes.
That was his weapon.
That's what we're saying.
Oh, we heard about Jimmy G's air yards for that game.
No, but the 49ers beat the Cowboys by rushing for over 200 yards in that playoff game. You saw what Jimmy G did.
But it's the same thing. Every year.
No, it's not.
People and running back isn't the MVP running. That tells
Jimmy G literally beat the Packers, and he threw for less than 100 yards. They won.
Oh, but that team,
like Purdy just did.
But that team with Jimmy G, they did not have running backs getting involved in the passing game as much as McCaffrey is. They were not throwing. They were not operating. Elijah Mitchell out. They were not putting.
Yes, he has a better running back.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but you also the same system, the exact as good as Purdy did. And Garoppolo did.
You never said Jimmy G could be a consideration for MVP.
But
never.
You guys are saying that in this system, this is what they need to be successful. Like a Jimmy G, honestly. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, but when those guys, those quarterbacks that you're saying, well, he fits this system perfectly, when they go against them other quarterbacks who teams on their back, farewell, because all of a sudden your defense isn't 49ers in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
You for
right? Are you talking about the same team that was one pass away?
He outplayed Tom Brady in his very first start last year. Who? Purdy.
Yeah.
Against that Tom Brady?
It was Tom Brady.
That's what.
It was the playoffs because of who?
You talking about someone putting the
cape on?
The Bucs were winning their division because of pieces that they went to get to build around Tom Brady. It wasn't just because of Tom. Tom had blocking.
You gotta be kidding.
Tom.
I'm talking about.
All right. Let's see.
Making Pro Bowls as a rookie.
He outplayed Tua last year.
He did outplay Tua last year. Okay.
You know how I feel about that.
So look, Tua, they beat Tom Brady, Geno,
The quarterback. Y'all love some Geno.
Who?
Y'all love some Geno.
I did
beat Geno twice.
Beat Geno twice.
Beat Dak.
Geno's part of one of the worst quarterback classes in history.
So if we're say that, okay, he's a quarterback that's done. Does that not
want to win the division?
I got a good comment in terms of.
Yeah, I picked him to win, but not because I love Geno.
You drop a quarterback into a different situation.
You love DK?
Well, no, I just picked him because I had to pick something.
When we think about somebody like Jared Goff, who was buns his last few years, they went to the Super Bowl. When they got exposed, it wasn't like Jared Goff. We didn't see that kid from Jared Goff. It was all Tiger. That's why I gave Tiger. Watch him, Jared Goff, with weapons in a line, and he looks great. He looks top 10. That doesn't necessarily know that Jared Goff in the moments can put the cape on and go and do it.
This is the
line
thing.
is scoring consistently.
This is the thing
when
that
Cordell talks about that next notch. That's what it is. We've seen it. We haven't seen him going here. Okay, chips are against you. I don't have this. I don't have that. Let me go here. I got you.
Okay, let me ask you this: how many quarterbacks actually do that?
And that's a great question.
They're not all in the top 10.
They're not. There's probably
it's only about 5,
maybe
6,
7.
So what are we talking about? He can be in the top 10. He doesn't have to put the cape on because not everybody in the top 10 does that.
So it fluctuates. It's not. I'm saying that tier.
I said
8 to 13.
I
tier,
said right now. I said it last week. And I'll say it again this trip. Too early.
Hey, you can say pretty
Too early. And that's why I'm like, for what? Like what? This is his first real adversity test, and he failed with flying colors. So I don't know why. Like that's why I'm not. What is
But
it?
he failed against the number one defense in the league. I feel like he's being punished.
But even then, it's even then, the field goal was the only thing that changed him from failing at the end of the day.
It's the kicker. The
And
kicker is
that
field goal.
He sure did.
at the end of the day, it's not like, oh, they were held scoreless in the second half. No, they scored. So it's not like the 49ers.
Why did they score a touchdown?
They ran it in.
No.
PJ Walker threw an interception. They had the ball at the 8
They
yard line.
scored the same way Zach Wilson scores.
Exactly.
Whose fault is that? It could have been a field goal.
Shame on him for having a good defense.
Again, giving credit where credit is due.
What's up?
Credit don't get nothing for any credit.
All right, if that's the energy we want, put some more respect on Zach Wilson's name. Put some more respect on his name because the stuff like that. I'm not gonna give credit to one and then look at the other one who does the same thing and be like, nah, we go no. So put some more love on Zach Wilson then
Shame.
for having games like that.
How dare he have?
How dare Zach Wilson have a good
and elite
defense?
defense that gives him short field.
Man, you
Yes.
know,
He's not.
That's
Shame on him.
You can't rebuttal that. That's why he does that when he can't rebuttal it. He just repeats the same thing. Shame on Zach Wilson for having
Repeat again. Say one more time. Good measure. Go ahead.
Zach Wilson just doesn't make throws to win games.
He sure doesn't.
Did Brock Purdy?
apparently.
I mean, how about Cowboys?
Who?
Beat the brakes.
I'm gonna move on.
Oh, the 49ers?
I'm gonna move on.
How about they did on?
By a lot.
Let's go ahead. Let's talk about who, when he first got into the league, was talked about just as much as Purdy. His name is Dak Prescott. Let's talk about this game that we're going into, because he fell out of your top 10, right? So,
4 picks away.
so
Keep it together.
From what?
He came into the season said that he was not going to throw 10 interceptions, and he has already. He's 4 picks away. Did not have a 4 interception game. Oh, that's going to look hideous.
Against the former coordinator?
What if it happens?
Defense
No, but I'm just saying. I'm saying, what if it does?
Not like that.
Can you imagine Stephen A. before first take him off? It's gonna be nasty. Well, tonight he's already walking around with a cigar.
Man.
But tomorrow he's
Holla
at your boy.
already know.
Yeah, he gonna be that way. But I think this is a game to a shootout, in my opinion, and that's no knock against the Cowboys defense. I think their defense is talented, but I've seen their defense look flawed the last few weeks. I can't get that Arizona game out of my head, giving up 200 yards on the ground to a Cardinals team like that. Can't get that out of my head. But
oh Jesus, is that a fumble? Is that a fumble? Was he down?
See, we already we started. I told you this might be this might be the best game of the week, guys. I know this past week was some defensive slugfest. This might be one that reaches the 30s.
If Herbert goes ahead and puts on a show, you gonna put some more respect on his name?
He's still a top 10 quarterback.
I
never said he wasn't top 10.
If we're looking at
where's Herbert standing? You're top
like 8, 9, maybe. Actually, no, I'd have to say probably 9.
I feel as though with the situation, they're on that. At some point,
that's because you're
pressure going to build diamonds. Trust me, I am apologist. I am not making no excuses for this man as he just gets sacked.
Khalil.
I'm not making no excuses. Homeboy got paid. This is your franchise, your team. You have seal of approval, stamp of approval. I guess shout out Jerry Jones in the Super Bowls he hadn't had recent years. Dak got to show up. I don't know what that looks like, that cape that we have been, none of his receivers was open.
Khalil
they got to get CD the ball.
Just took Tyron Smith.
CD is one of them ones. This, for me, it's going to if I put the ball in CD's hands and Tony's hands, let them go to work. Like, that's really what it's going to come down to for me. Because CD, who guarding CD on the I don't think. It's going to be CD some matchups and go exploit them. That's what this game going to come down to.
See, I think with the Cowboys, the reason why there's always so much pressure is not only just a star, but Dak's been the quarterback. They've got talent. It's never been a thing about, they just don't have the guys.
Never been.
They've always had guys at some point or another. The Cowboys have had it. They just have found a way not to win when it matters.
Damn, Justin Herbert's only a 500 quarterback? That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like Dak has always had a receiver. He's always had a running back. The line has always been good. Like, the defense, for sure, has been. A lot of times they've lost in the playoffs is because Dak just hasn't been good enough to win. And good games before. He's had good games. But it's just the ones that are more magnified. It always seems like he just falls a little bit short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with the Cowboys and why there's so much pressure. It's not because it's just the Cowboys all the time. It's just because they actually have a good team.
Situation.
They actually have a good team.
He's been set up.
So
he's been set up. He is the common denominator in all of these situations.
Yes. Cowboys. Unfortunately.
I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers pull this one out tonight, man. They're talented enough to do so. And out here, and it's looking like they're about to draw first blood with Joshua Palmer crossing the goal line here. There's a flag on the play. We'll see if it comes back or not. But I'll go with the Cowboys, but I'm not 100% solid on that.
Yeah, never saw them.
Okay. Apparently, I went Cowboys. I had to go look.
I already knew. That's why I
on the Chargers.
Touchdown by Palmer coming back.
That's probably why he
and it's probably
half-assed his day.
If I had to take a guess, the ball's gonna sort of lead, and it'll be after Herbert and Herbert.
Oh, I picked the Chargers
because he can't put the cape.
I was probably being a hater. I got the Chargers.
Come on,
Austin Eckler. I need 34 fantasy points. Don't withhold my man's touches. He a tough cookie.
You're right on that.
Look.
He got it. Tote that thing. No, give him the ball. There you go. Screen pass. Come on.
Actually, I don't.
Little legs. Come on, little legs. Come on, little legs.
Oh,
yes, sir.
God, what?
Take him all the way down. That's what I'm talking about.
Dang.
Right.
All right. So as you can see, we are clearly getting invested in the game itself. So
Cowboys defense, man.
We are going to call it. Thank you guys for joining us again, per usual.
Like and subscribe. Tell everybody, your family, your friends, your coworkers, the people you carpool with, your mailman,
on your phone,
the cashier at the grocery store.
You don't need to use no data. Hop on some Wi-Fi.
The guy at Subway.
You still talking
everybody.
to
Tell everybody.
Anybody.
Bank teller.
So thank you again. I'm Cordell.
Come on, freestyle. Dudes, baby. Y'all be easy.
Yep, be safe.
Go Bolts.
Really?
Charge them up.
Is you're wearing